boys and girls. I'm back for May 14th and May 15th. Your May 14th assignments for ELA are to answer the daily reading question on the learning packet, complete an activity from the choice board for the story, read independently for 20 minutes, and then complete your reading log. And of course, it's the same for May 15th. Okay, so getting started with May 14th, your directions are to find the central idea, which is the same as main idea, what the passage is mostly about, and 3 key details that support your central idea. Boys and girls, thinking about the story, we have to go back and look at the central idea of the whole informational text, the entire article, not just one paragraph. So when I think about what the whole thing is about, not just one paragraph, I think about the title. It says Save the Rainforest. So the author goes back and explains what a rainforest is, tells us about the rainforest plants that exist in the rainforest and the rainforest animals that live there, so that we have an idea of the types and varieties of animals and plants that are in the rainforest. And then here, in this larger section, the author explains why the rainforests are in trouble, and then tells about a project that students back in 1987 were involved in to help save the rainforest. So I kind of skimmed back through it. I thought about, what is the author really trying to teach me here? What's the big idea? So going back to our text, or to our packet, here I decided to write, because our rainforests are in trouble, we need to protect them. The author wants me to know how important the rainforests are, and then to understand why they're in trouble. So that would be the central idea, or an example of the central idea. It's possible that you could write it a different way. You don't have to write it exactly the way I wrote it, but it should be very similar. And then one key detail was on page 31. Okay, here it tells me a rainforest has hundreds of kinds of trees and flowers. A rainforest is noisy. There's lots of different animals in the rainforest. So I decided to go back and put that a rainforest is home to hundreds of kinds of trees and flowers. And actually, you know what I just realized is home to hundreds of kinds of trees. And I think I'm going to change that actually to trees, flowers, and animals. Okay, I think that's better. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so I chose this detail, boys and girls, because it goes with why our rainforests are important. Okay, so we need to know that we need to protect them because they are home to many kinds of trees, flowers, and animals. Or we could have even just put plants and animals. Okay, so if you go back to page 32, okay, there are many more reasons here in this section as to why the rainforests are important, such as the rain turns into clouds that make more rain. So this is the rainforests play an important part of the water cycle. Trees take in the carbon dioxide and give off the air we breathe, or oxygen. So that's another reason why the trees are important in the rainforest. Also, there's information here about why the rainforests are in trouble, because people keep cutting down the trees to get wood and land to farm. But most of the trees are not being replaced. This is also causing a problem called global warming, which affects the temperature all over the world. Also, loggers are leaving behind what they call rubbish, or different materials that really are a source of pollution, which we know can affect the plants and animals. Okay. We should be able to make a connection with this last part where it says the balance of life in a rainforest is complicated. Plants and animals depend on one another. If one dies out, then others do too. So we know that after studying the food chain, after learning about producers and consumers, we know that when you take out a producer or a consumer, then it affects the other parts of the food chain. Okay, so boys and girls, there's many other details that you could choose. I just went ahead and put page 32 for your other ones so that you can pick some other details that support this main idea. So you can give more reasons why we need to protect the rainforest, or also put in there why the rainforests are in trouble. Okay, and then for May 15th, it says the author used a few different text structures throughout the passage. Name one text structure the author used and explain your answer. Remember, text structures can be descriptive, cause and effect, problem and solution, sequential, or question and answer. And boys and girls, I believe the ones that we have focused on were descriptive, problem and solution, and question and answer. But I did include, never mind. I did not. I was thinking about that I was going to include cause and effect, but I didn't. Okay, so let's go back to page 32. The text structure used here was problem and solution. Now, on the right side, you are to explain how the author uses the text structure to help you understand the text. So the actual section here was the children's rainforest. And then I wrote how the author uses it. So in 1987, children in Sweden learned that the rainforests are in trouble, or were in trouble at that time, still are in trouble. This would be the problem. So they started a project to help save the land. So this is their solution. This is how they're trying to help solve the problem. And then another one here, boys and girls, is question and answer text structure, also on page 32 up at the top. Why are the rainforests in trouble? So here you're going to go back and explain how the author uses this text structure. He poses a question and then gives you the answer. So explain what the question is and what the answer is that the author uses. Also, boys and girls, I went ahead and I wrote that down for you to help you, but there is other text structures here that were used on page 30 and 31. For example, on page 30 here, what is a rainforest? This is another question, and then it's followed with an answer. This can also sort of be considered descriptive because, especially over here on 31, under rainforest plants and rainforest animals, the author gives us a heading, but then describes and tells more about the rainforest underneath these headings. So that would also be considered descriptive. So there's many other answers there as well. Okay, and that wraps it up for May 15th. I'm sure you guys have done a great job this week. I really enjoyed our Zoom meeting that we had today. I love seeing your smiling faces on there. So I hope that you can join us next week if you were not able to join us this week. And by this time, you guys are probably getting finished to wrap up, almost finished wrapping up the week with your assignments. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. See you soon.